Want to launch your first digital product, but you're not sure where to start? In this video, I'll show you the easiest type of digital product for beginners, how to create it in just a weekend, and how to make your first sales quickly. So if you've been overthinking digital products, this is going to be the simple starting point that you need. So let's dive in. If you're brand new to digital products, the easiest one to start is not a course or a membership. The easiest digital product for beginners is a short ebook or a 30 to 60 minute online workshop. And here's the best part. I've seen people do 6 and 7 figures from a simple workshop on a notes app, sharing their screen through Google Meet, which is a free software. Sure, that might not be the typical result, but I have seen it done. And a workshop or an ebook can generate amazing money, even with keeping it extremely simple. Because the thing is that people are paying for the advice that you're sharing, the problem you're going to help them solve, the win that they're going to get at the end. They don't care how fancily designed your slides are. Maybe unless you're teaching design, right? They don't care if it's in a notes app or a Word document, or if it's just face to camera like this. They don't care. They care about getting the result that's promised and learning from you. So now that you know the easiest digital product to get started with, let's break down how to come up with your profitable digital product idea, how to create it fast, and start making sales. It's even possible to do it in a weekend. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is pick a specific topic that you can teach on that's going to get your ideal person a specific result. So you don't want to try to solve somebody's entire life's worth of problems in one workshop or one ebook, right? You want to pick something specific. So a great example I have for this is, as many of you know, I was a professional photographer for 16 years, and I could have easily made a digital product that was just like teaching everything, right? The business, the operations, how to book shoots, how to take great photos, how to have good lighting, how to do posing, right? Like there's so many things that go into that topic. But the key here to have a successful ebook or a successful workshop that actually sells is to really dial in on a specific result, a specific outcome. So instead of teaching everything I knew under the sun related to photography education, I decided to create an ebook called Model Call that taught one specific thing and got somebody one specific result. So after surveying my audience, I learned that the number one thing photographers wanted and the number one problem that they had that they wanted solved was booking more clients. So I created my Model Call ebook that was only 13 pages long. It was step by step of what they needed to do. Step 1, step 2, how to write the post, where to post it, all these different steps that they could follow to get more bookings and get more clients. So it wasn't, here's a business plan, here's how to do your taxes as a business owner, here's how to buy a studio, here's how to do posing, lighting. I didn't cover any of that. I dialed into one specific pain point and one specific result. And the result of that ebook was I sold it for $59 and I made over $500,000 in the few years that it was for sale. And I know for a fact that that ebook would not have sold so wildly if I would have tried to cover a million topics in one, because people don't want a 300-page ebook or a 7-hour long workshop. They want to get one specific result as quickly and easily as possible. And by the way, I recently made a brand new free on-demand training that's going to walk you through how to find what digital product to sell, the problem to solve, how to build your audience on what platform, how to make those first sales, and of course, how to automate your sales for consistent passive income. And I want to invite you to snag your totally free seat. It's the first link in the description below this video. Okay, now that you know how to choose your topic for a digital product that will actually sell, let's dial in to how you can actually create this in a weekend. Because one of the biggest myths I see is people being like,
well, I've been working on this for weeks, months, years.
When I hear people say that, I know that things are not going to end well for them because first of all, spending that much time on a digital product is just not necessary. But second of all, if your number one goal is not to make sales as quickly as possible, then the likelihood of that digital product failing is going to be very, very likely, because you want to start getting sales not just to be making money, but to actually be validating your idea, making sure people actually want that problem solved, and making sure that people will actually buy your digital product. Because it doesn't matter how good the digital product is if people don't actually buy it, right? It's kind of like YouTube. It doesn't matter how good your video is if your title and your thumbnail suck and nobody clicks on it, right? So you have to make sure to actually sell your digital product. Otherwise, all that work that you put into making the digital product doesn't matter anyways. And the faster you can get to sales and validating your idea, the better. And you can tweak and perfect your digital product and improve it over time. So what we want to do in a weekend is just make a minimum viable product. We want to make something simple, quick, easy. Okay. So that way in just a couple days, you can get it selling to validate and make sure people actually will pay for this. So again, I recommend starting with either an ebook or a workshop. Personally, for me, if I was starting over from scratch, I would 100% do a workshop. I do feel like an ebook can be a little bit more work. I also personally would prefer just like coming up with bullet points and talking into Google Meet or Zoom or something like that, rather than spending time writing. But I think this is where you kind of want to look at your skill set. Like, do you prefer writing? Do you prefer putting on a workshop? Like, which one do you think is going to be easier and faster for you to do? And I would recommend picking that one. Oh, and also think about your audience. Do you think your audience would rather read an ebook or watch an online workshop? So whether you're making a workshop or an ebook, the first thing you want to do is ask yourself, where is the person that's going to buy this now? And where do you want them to be at the end of the digital product? It doesn't matter if it's an ebook or a workshop, it doesn't matter. So who is the person you're going to be helping and what is the one specific problem that you're going to be helping them with? And I want you to write that down. And then I want you to write down where they are now, where you want them to be at the end of the digital product, and then fill in the big milestones and bullet points that they need to complete in order to get that result as quickly and succinctly as possible. So from there, you're going to fill in the bullet points to either finish out your ebook, or you're going to take the bullet points, you could turn it into slides, or you could even just keep them on a notes app or a Word doc and just talk through Google Meet or Zoom. It really depends on your skill set, how good you are at talking off the cuff. You could even write a full word for word script for your workshop and just read it during the workshop as well. It's totally up to you. There's so many options. And so the key really is to make sure to keep it simple, quick, fast, okay, to implement and keep things true to your skill set and what you enjoy doing. And remember, things do not need to be designed perfectly. You don't need to hire anyone. You don't need a logo. You don't need a website. Like, these are all distractions, okay? What you need is to help people. What you need is to make sales so you can validate your idea and start the stepping stones of having a real foundation for a real online business. So again, I'm not even going to go into more details of what else to do because that's it. That's all I want you to do. Pull up a Word doc. Put in the bullet points of what you want to teach. You can turn that into the shortest version of an ebook possible. You don't even have to design it, just a Word doc, okay? Save as PDF, done. And then you could take those also and you can run your workshop, okay? So you're literally just going to choose the date and time you want to do the workshop. You're going to go into your Google Calendar and set it up for a Google Meet. It will give you a link. This is all completely free. And then you're going to look at your bullets or your script and you're going to deliver the workshop. And whether they show up live or not, you're going to also give them the recording. So don't forget to actually record your workshop as well, because not everyone's going to be able to attend the date and time that you choose. And that's okay. Some people maybe don't even want to attend live, right? But the cool thing is that you're going to record it. You're going to offer them to join live or the recording. And then you can also use the recording just like you would an ebook to sell it over and over and over again. Okay, so let's talk about how you can get the fastest sales possible. So you can do what we just talked about, where you create your digital product in a weekend and then sell it. Or you can do my personal favorite strategy, which is called pre-selling. Okay. Think of this like a Kickstarter. You're going to come up with the idea, what you're teaching, the problem you're going to help them solve, and then they can purchase the ebook or purchase the workshop, and you're going to tell them it's going to be delivered on this date or this date and time if you're doing a workshop. So they're buying it ahead of time. And what you could do is you could sell it a month ahead of time, have it delivered a month after, and then you'll have a whole month to create that digital product, or a week, however long you want to do it. So you'll have time to create it. You'll get paid up front. So you're not creating something until you know you're getting paid, and you're getting paid to actually make it, which is a win-win-win. Now, in order to actually make sales, you're going to need what's called a checkout page. So think of anything you've bought online. There is a form that you have to fill out, right? Your name, your address, your payment information, and then you hit purchase. So for a checkout page and all the different things I use to run my business, I use a software called System.io, and I have a link where you can snag your very own totally free System.io account. It's linked in my description below this video, and it's for up to 2,000 email subscribers. So you can create a checkout page, a sales page, you can even create a website. Like, you can do tons of things on this plan for free. And then someday, if you want to upgrade, it starts at just $25 a month. So the reason I recommend them is I use them, I love them. And yes, it's an affiliate link, but I don't make any money if you sign up for the free plan. So I don't really make a lot of money from it. I just really, really love it. It's what we use, and I want to share it with you. And again, if you want to learn my entire process along with all of our scripts, SOPs, weekly Q&A calls, our active community, go ahead and check out my membership, Freedom Creator Club. It's linked in the description below this video. Okay, so now let's talk about how to actually price your digital product. Now, this one's probably going to be a lot easier than you think it is. I don't need you to make some big spreadsheet of all of your competitors unless you want to. What I highly recommend is to price your digital product based on the result that they'll be getting, okay? So if you're teaching some super robust course of how to go from 0 to a 6-figure business, that's something that you could probably charge a lot of money for, because if they're potentially getting a 6-figure result, okay, and this is why a lot of those programs are more high ticket and they cost a lot more. Now, I personally teach something similar to this, and I chose to make it very affordable and more low cost, not so high ticket, because I want to make it affordable for everyone. So that's just kind of my thoughts around pricing. But let's say you're doing an ebook or a workshop, which is what we're focused on in this video. Again, look at the results. What's the result they're getting? So let's say you're doing a workshop on how to throw your first mug on the wheel. So pottery, okay? Well, that's a super cool topic, but of course it's not really like monetary, right? So you can think to yourself, okay, well, what would somebody pay for that? Like, what's the result they're getting? What is it worth to them, right? So let's say you buy some really cool mug from a potter. That's probably going to be like $50 to $100, right? But this one is one you made. So not only are you getting a mug, but you're learning a skill, and you're going to have that pride that you made it. So yes, you're going to be willing to pay more than the cost of just a mug, right? So I'm thinking, $200, $300, and this is a skill that they can build upon over time as well. Versus if you're teaching another potter how to make their first body of work that they could sell at their own booth at a craft show or a Christmas fair or something like that. That's going to have a higher yield result. They're going to make a lot more money from that. So maybe you could charge somewhere around $1,000 for that. So just giving you some ideas, and don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you're like,
I think my thing should only be like $19 or $30 or $40. Like,
that's okay. Start it out where you feel is right. Don't overthink it. Like, go with your gut. And then as you sell more and more and you get more and more testimonials, you can raise the price over time. I would say the bigger mistake is overpricing your digital product and not underpricing it. Okay, so we know in order to make sales, we have to actually have something to sell. We have to actually have a checkout page. But how do we actually get people to that checkout page, right? Well, in order to do that, we're going to need something called traffic, which is essentially just a fancy word for real life people on the other side of a computer going to your checkout page, and some of them who go to your checkout page will purchase, right? So in order to do this, you're going to need traffic, AKA an audience. So you can do this by leveraging social media. You can do this by leveraging email marketing. You can do this by leveraging partnerships. Personally, I have tried all of the above. I've been creating and selling digital products since 2014. And I am here to tell you that what is working the best, in my opinion, today, okay? Not last month, not last year, not last decade, is YouTube. Like, there is a reason why I put out 8 videos every single month on my channel, because YouTube drives amazing traffic. It finds me the right people, the people who want to learn from me, the people who want these right skills, right? It aligns the proper audience with my videos. And then what I do in my videos is I mention freebies, just like I did throughout this video. I mentioned a workshop and a couple other things. And what you do to get those freebies, you go in the description, you click the link, you put in your name and email, and then the freebie is delivered to your email. And then you're also on our email list. And from there, we have a series of automated emails that will give you even more helpful free information, and also have calls to action saying, oh, by the way, if you want to learn even more in depth or get access to Molly or have weekly Q&A calls, go ahead and sign up for Freedom Creator Club. So we're finding our audience through YouTube. We're sending them to our email list with freebies. And then we're sending people from our email list to our checkout page. And then a percentage of those people that hit the checkout page will purchase. And that is how you make sales. So remember, your first digital product does not have to be big or complicated. In fact, it shouldn't be. A simple ebook or workshop is the perfect place to start. And your audience is going to love it because would you rather learn about that thing in a 5-page ebook or a 500-page ebook, right? People would rather learn the thing and get the result in a shorter, more easily implemented, quicker way. So now that you know the easiest digital product to get started with and how to start making sales, you might be wondering how to scale this to thousands of dollars per month, but how do you do that? Well, it all starts with watching this next video here, because when you pair what you just learned with what's in this here video, it's going to be way more powerful. See you in the next one.